Well, YouTube, today at powerjackrepair.org we got an AORUS RX5M. That's what it says right there. You can hardly see it, but it's right there. AORUS 5, right there it says. And it's made by GIGABYTE in Taiwan. Right? Came in for the Power Jack repair. Somebody already tried to take it apart. I can see some broken stuff right here. But I'm gonna take it apart myself today. Let's see if this is even compatible bit. Probably not compatible bit. I was thinking it's CRV-T7. It says Torx 7. No, it's compatible. Strange. What here? This one is not compatible. Alrighty. Would it be different Torx screw? Oh, because I see. The problem is whoever took it apart before probably didn't use the Torx screw, so there's nothing to screw. Okay, so this one still has the. Okay. Okay. All right, now so the Torx screw was correct one. It just some of the screws don't have the. So it's T7. It says VT7. Right, where is the? Where is the? It's the magnet I was looking for. All right. Okay. All right, all good. The laptop came in with the power supply resting on top of the screen. This is just a guitar pick. Let's see. That. Let's put it here. All right, so doesn't seem like anybody put their fingers into this thing yet. The jack doesn't look that bad. No, something is moving. Oh, since it's already here, we might as well. Right here, we need to disconnect the battery first. Now let's connect the proper bit. I know I receive a lot of comments that I've been using the same bit for the last 25 years. This business has been around for 25 years, but it works so good for me. But just for the YouTube, I did order the screwdriver that's like tiny, like a pencil one. And for videos, specifically for videos, I'm going to be using the pencil type screw so that it would be looking more professional. I still use the analog voltmeter from 25. Well, no, this one I used like for 30 years, but for this business, it's been 25. But no, I do have something state of the art, you know. But still, the camera is probably also 20 years old. Anyways, let's whatever works, guys. Whatever works. And I only have to charge it like once a month. All right. But I know on video it doesn't look amazing. All right, here it seems like there's a tiny screw, and this is definitely not the screwdriver to work on it. All right. let's see. This one. And obviously that screw is not even from this Opera, but whatever works again. No big deal. We're gonna figure it out. All right. We can remove the battery this way. I think this Aorus has been around for years already. By the way, I need to mark which one is going where. So this is gonna be here. This is one gonna be here, and two gonna be here. So we're gonna mark the, because we got two chips, we don't want to mistakenly put them in different places. All right. What do we got for this screw? So the screw is going this way. And this way. All right, looks good. Amazing. All right, here we got some sort of beautiful folder for the cabling. All right. Why do we have something like that here? All right, this guy we have to flip upwards. All right, once it's upwards, you can push it outwards. All right. And we got a lot of tape like that, and here we can unscrew the Wi-Fi. Let's try another screwdriver. Yeah, better. Right there. Okay. Okay. So the tape is holding it down a bit here. Like that, like that. Good job. You got another screw right here. Yeah, everything's loose. Okay, so here we got this cable here. Okay, and we got this cable right there. All right, so here what we want to do is we want to make sure that those pads are sitting properly. I think this should be back right there. Good job. I will have to clean the heatsink and clean. Seems like somebody already took it apart before because this looks like it was a liquid metal before, because this thing right here, maybe not, maybe it's supposed to be like that. Strange. It doesn't seem like a factory. I mean, it could be, but yeah, it's no, maybe it's a factory. Not sure. Honestly, not sure here. All right, so what else we have here? We got a screw right there. Okay. Small screw here. Small screw right there. All right. Before you're gonna remove the motherboard, it seems like there should be a cable underneath here. Okay, yeah. So the cable is here. Clip it upwards. All right. I don't need to remove it all the way. Just let's. So just one cable here. Okay. Close that. Remove that. This goes back here. Well, I'll put it on top afterwards. All right, and we got the cable hidden underneath this sticker right here. All right. Good job. All right, if the video was useful on how to take it apart properly, leave a like. I mean, it wasn't complicated at all, but still, maybe somebody. Right. Good job. Good job. Okay, let's take a look. We got a pad here to cool down the jack. Wow. I never seen that before. This is the first one in my life. Wow. So did you cool it down properly? Well, again, I don't see any issues to the jack, but since it's already here, it usually breaks in the back where the pin starts to bend into the motherboard. That's where it usually breaks. That's what I'm gonna go. But it seems like somebody took it apart before, because there seems to be like some sort of dust between the heatsink. So we got a chip here, we got a chip right there. Okay. This is just from the paste. This is not an oxidation, it's not a flood laptop. Looks good to me. All right. Right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna insulate the area right here and try to desolder the connector, and everything should work. All right, so right here, like that. Like that. Like that. Right, the problem here at this component right here usually flies off the motherboard when we start to work on it. So my goal here is to make sure that component isn't going anywhere. And there are two of them, one on the top, one on the bottom. So it can just sometimes drop off from the motherboard. And for some reason this insulation here went sideways. All right, like that, like that, like that, like that. Looks good. That's good. Let's put it on a tape. You know what I'm gonna do next is no, I'm gonna do that next. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some hot air on top of it, and some flux and some leaded base solder. The leaded base solder gonna mix with the unleaded base solder. It's gonna lower the melting temperature, and I'm gonna be able to drop it from the motherboard. So that's flux. This is the leaded base solder. All right. You know what, it seems like some of the components are not covered by some reason. I need to cover it a bit more. All right, so I covered the area a bit more. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of hot air so that the leaded base solder will penetrate penetrate the traces as well as the pins, but they're not penetrating. All right, so now let's boost up the hot air. Right, you see, I was right in terms of this pin being broken right in the middle. Come on. There. Okay. Reduce the power. Add a little bit more solder. All right, so if we inspect the holes, not all of them are empty. You see right there is still, we still got some solder right there. So let's take care of that solder. Fill it up with, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just fill it up with solder, then suck it out. All right, fill it up with solder. Now let's try and solder it out. All right, so it's a relatively thick board, so I could as well solder it from the other side as well. Desolder it from the other side. Like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, so here's what happens. Here is the jack. You see it breaks right here. That's where the pin is supposed to go into the motherboard. Let me show you how the new jack. Yeah, if only I would have the jack in here someplace. Okay, let me go get it from downstairs. All right, so you see, this is how it's supposed to look like. Basically, there is a pin right here, and there is no pin right there, right? So again, I get a lot of comments saying I'm using too much flux, but it's no big deal, honestly. I would rather have it well soldered than the laptop to ever come back here again. Good job, good job. Okay. So the first thing I'm gonna do is gonna secure it from the top. Good job. All right, so the other thing I need to do, I need to solder it from the top. see. Too much solder penetrated through because of the flux. So I'm gonna remove that solder. Yeah, good luck, because the iron is off. This is a more expensive iron. I need to warm it up. All right, so let's see. Still, I think too much solder on this one. Let's see if I can reduce it a bit. Okay, that's much better. Beautiful, beautiful. You see, this component is still here on the motherboard, right? That's really good news. I didn't have to... Okay, there was no component right here. This component is here, it didn't get blown off. Everything here is still intact. Some melting right here from the hot air, but it's no big deal, it's still functioning. The pin looks good. Alright, so visually everything seems to be okay. Let's look on the other side. I don't want to put a large iron here because it might have shorted the components with the neighboring, with those capacitors right there. Alright. Yeah. Not something I like. Hold on 1 second here. Much better. Beautiful. Let's see. Don't wanna damage this component there. This component is intact. Those guys are not moved. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean it up. Yeah, good luck cleaning up. Alright, I had to go get a refill of the ISP because the ISP ran out. I tried to not to have the ISP inside this area because it's flammable. So I usually just use it little by little. I fill it up by little. All right. Now, I do use a no clean flux, but as you can see, you still have to clean it. There is no miracles. There is no miracles. Beautiful. 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 Have to clean up my studio a little. All right. The next thing is obviously all right. So I did clean up the heatsink and the fans from all the garbage, from all the dust. Here we have this cable here we're not supposed to forget. All right, and goes on top. Cable right here. All right, this is here. And that's going into... Something is not fitting someplace. Strange. Come on. Come on. Come on. No? Yeah. Good job. Perfect alignment of the connector to the hole. Yeah, except that this cable right here went under. Okay, like that. Come on. Beautiful. Beautiful, but not so beautiful. For some reason, here, not exactly happy. Oh, right there. Okay. So once those guys right here fit into this casing, it's gonna be nice and steady and perfect. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna secure a small tiny screw here and a tiny screw right here. All right, we're gonna connect the speaker right here and hide this guy away. All right, beautiful. Close that guy. Open this guy. Excellent, excellent. Close it right there. Good job. Beautiful. All right, what else do I want to connect while we are here? I want to remove this dust here. Otherwise, the prop might not be spinning correctly. I want to remove this dust here. And beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so this is gonna go like how it's gonna go like that. We will see how it's gonna go. Okay. All right, so time to put the heatsink on, right? Right, so let's put plenty of thermal paste. All right. All right, so let's put the heatsink on right here. And like that. Like that. Make sure not to pinch this cable here. We're not pinching this cable either, right? Yeah, no pinching here. This guy gonna be here. This is gonna be here. And beautiful, beautiful. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Let's put in a screw. This is not the longest screw, I assume. It's a middle one. Let's take a look. I think it's the middle one, right? I think it's a longer screw. Hold on. Yeah, it's a longer screw. Longer screw here and longer screw right here. All right. Let's connect the fan here. Right, and let's connect this fan right there. Good job. Let's hide the cables underneath. Right there. Away from the heat. Alright, good job. Now let's connect the Wi-Fi card right there. Okay. 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 Go down. Beautiful. Now we have this cable here. They're gonna connect right there. Good job. We wanna bring it here for that fancy connection right there. Cable management system. All right. Now let's take a look here. We got, yeah, this is the shorter screws. Okay. Good. No. So that was the longer screw here. This is the shorter screw. Here. Shorter screw right there. Longer screw going in right here. Alright. And the longer screw goes in right there. Oh. Hold on. We had that special thingy here right there. Yeah. I want to make sure it's not pinching the cable. Yeah, it's specifically made not to pinch the cable. Wow. Technology. Technology. This guy, this is the one we marked here. Okay. Okay, good job. No, not a good job. Hold on. I think the screws are not from this Opera because they're supposed to be centering the SSD card dead center, but those are not centering at all. Strange. Who would put stuff like that in there? Okay. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna put this thing right there where it used to be. Close it down like that. And again, this screw doesn't seem like it's from this Opera. I mean, I haven't seen many screws like that in general. It's okay, I guess. All right. So what we got here? We got those two screws right here. And we got this screw right here in the middle. Short screw here. All right. We got 1, 2. And we got another one here. So the two screw gonna go right there. So this is for the battery. 1, 2. All right, so the battery. Oh, strange. Hold on. I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure that the people who worked on it before. No, they did the right thing. Okay, good job. Okay, let's connect this guy. The battery back to the motherboard. Wow, it just sits on top like that. Wow, strange. Ooh, hold on, never mind. Hold on. Too fast. Right, this thing we flip out this way. Battery is drained anyway, so there is no electricity in there anyway. Yeah. Good job. Okay. Now let's connect the battery. Okay. Yeah, totally right. It's a different. It's a T7. There is nothing to screw anything here and here. Maybe here would be holding it. Let's take a look. Yeah, here is gonna be holding it. And right there. Is there nothing to screw it into? Yeah, I guess there's nothing to screw it into. No, there is something to screw it in. Edge up. Maybe it's a Torx 5 or Torx 6. Now what's important for me is to see if it's gonna work, because the adapter was resting on top of the screen when I received this laptop. And what else I need to do? I need to find it through right. Good job. Excellent. Okay, let me bring the power supply. Let's power it up. Somebody uses a tracker to see where it's at, and it's a beautiful idea, you know, to see if he received the laptop. Well, all right, so let's see if the power is coming out of this power brick, which it should. Let's see. Yep, the power coming out. That's all right. Is there a light someplace? There is no light. Yeah, so the light came up. You see, light came up. We're gonna try and power it up. The light is still on. We get something here in the keyboard. Let's see if you're gonna get some image. All right, so we got the AORUS. I'm just gonna bend it like that to not show the client's information, just in case client's information is gonna come up. So I mean, we're still spinning. All right. All right, so we got a Windows login screen, and we got a icon right here that shows on 4K monitor. If you're watching on the big screen, you can see it's charging right there. All right, so thank you so much. Please leave a like, subscribe, and you guys take care. So the mouse is working, the touchpad is working, keyboard is working, Wi-Fi is working. So I'm just gonna shut it down and send it back to the client.